Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you some strategies for building responsive websites. So responsive web design just means designing web pages so that the pages can adapt to different screen sizes. And actually there are already some things that you have done that are well tailored towards adapting to different screen sizes. In particular, we've been creating websites with just by default, we've been including this meta tag here that says name equals viewport, content equals width, device width. That by itself tells, at the very least, the sort of makes the HTML page itself fit the width of the device. So you know, whether the content adapts to the device or not, at least the entire page will. So that's sort of a good start. And we've also been using a lot of fluid layouts, sort of things that adjust according to percentages. So if you have a really big screen, the layout fills the screen. If you shrink the screen, the layout shrinks to fit the screen. That, I mean, this by itself, imagine you just had a 2-element page and it was just this wide when you had a wide screen, and on a phone it was this wide, and it might work. That might be all you need to do if you have a simple layout. However, I'll just show you a few more techniques that you can use to make some more adjustments if in situations where you need to. So in this example, it's a 4-column layout, and you can see it looks fine when it's full screen. However, eventually it does get a bit compact. These columns start to get really squished together. So that's the first thing I think I'll address. And besides that, what I'll also do is I'll show you how to deal with things that you might want to remove entirely and replace with something else in different on different device sizes. So first, let's deal with these columns. The way I want to show you how to deal with those is by using something called a media query. So a media query is something you add in CSS that will actually check to see what size the device is, and then will make adjustments. So it's actually pretty straightforward to do. Let me go ahead and just show you an example of it. So the first thing you'll have to do when you're doing one of these, when you're trying to adjust for a specific screen size, is you'll need to add this @media screen, and then you have to specify some sort of condition. In this case, I'll say and max dash width colon 800 pixels. So what this requires, oops, hold on. Then curly braces and your styles will go inside here. What this means is this just identifies it as a media query, and you need to identify sort of what you are looking at. It's going to look at the screen, and then what condition is it? What condition is it checking? And it's saying this condition is only true up to the maximum width of 800 pixels. And you can pick, you know, whatever number makes sense here. I might actually, like 800 is usually a pretty good choice. Or maybe 800, 900, just kind of as resolution on screens gets better and better, the number kind of changes. Some of them, you know, some of the better, like Apple and Samsung screens might even have a higher resolution width, but I for this, just because we're working in such a small viewer, I'm actually going to make it kind of a smaller number. So basically what you do inside the curly braces for this media query is you write the CSS styles that you want to be true when that condition is true. So if the screen width is anywhere under that maximum of 600 pixels that I specified, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to restyle column, all of those columns, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all of this really, some of it's irrelevant, because what I'm going to do is I'm no longer going to need to float it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the width to 100%. It might be, well, if I have a 1% margin, maybe I should set it to 98%. So what I end up with is, when it's full screen, there's 4 columns across. Eventually, at some point as you shrink it, you'll notice it becomes columns stacked vertically. It's a single column layout, which is really popular with mobile sites because people just tend to scroll from top to bottom on phones. So this is a really easy and straightforward way to adapt your site to a mobile device. Okay, that's straightforward enough. Let's add one other adjustment. So let's just imagine maybe this feature, let's say this is some sort of graphic that is really great for a desktop or something like that. Maybe it's a video, right? And it really impacts your load times. It loads really slowly if somebody's using, like their phone mobile, their phone wireless internet connection. Maybe you want to put just like a still image here. Well, you could just replace that, but maybe it's a completely different layout, and you just want to have a completely different element here. You want something very different. One way to do that is to actually create a whole new element. So let's just put a filler element here. I'm just going to copy the original feature fill in, and I'll call this mobile feature, and I'll rename the ID mobile feature. So imagine you have some content that's ideal for larger screens in this div. You have some content that's ideal for smaller screens in this div. Now what you can do is hide the mobile one and then have it show up when your screen is below the threshold. So initially, let me just set some initial styles for the original feature. I guess what I'll do, or no, sorry, what I'll do, correction. What I'm going to do is just say, in addition to the regular feature, I'll say mobile feature will also get these same styles. I want it to have this background color. I want it to have this margin. The height should probably be fine. However, one thing that needs to be unique about it, so just mobile feature only, will be display none. So it actually will not display. So I want to run this, but REPL is temporarily disconnected. I just want to show you that it doesn't show up. So it's going to look the same as it did before. Oh, actually it showed up. Hold up. Let's see. Mobile feature, display none. I said mobile dash feature. It should be mobile underscore feature. Never underestimate how much spelling can mess up your HTML and CSS. All right, so here's the regular feature. Notice it does not include the mobile feature, and when I shrink it, it still won't because I didn't tell it to show up. However, what I can do is in my styles for the media query, I can say feature display none, and mobile feature display block. And so now what you see is full screen, original feature, mobile screen, mobile feature. Right. So there's just another way that you can adapt your layout to different sized devices, and in this case, make much larger adjustments than simply floating elements and having them, or just making them full screen to begin with. You can completely remove elements, and you can override the original width, for example, by using media queries to select for a specific screen size.